intent, what? Yeah.
Sheesh. It started that season.
What's going on, y'all? It's the Ill Intent Podcast. We're back, season 2. I'm excited for this. We're gonna be coming to you live from, well, not live, but we're gonna be coming to you from different states. Gonna be here, also in Texas. Gonna be moving some things around. Also have some really exciting special guests that I'm gonna be bringing on this season. So with no further ado, what's going on? It's your boy Scott Paul,
Steve shot it.
and we have a special guest today.
Shy Boogs.
Hey, let's go.
What up, what up?
He was ready for it. He was like,
I was
Scott.
ready.
It's like,
Yeah,
Scott, when
I
are you
was
just
ready.
gonna say
I
it,
was
bro?
like, just intro me. I was waiting for that intro.
Yo, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm happy to be with y'all. It's,
Awesome.
Impressed to see you guys growing this, and
No,
Thank you.
it's my first. It's my first podcast I've ever been on.
Hey,
Oh,
let's go.
shit.
Hey, yes.
I feel
Yes,
honored.
clap it up for
I think
us.
we should be honored. Yeah.
So
Cherry is popped.
so for those of you who don't know who Shy Boogs is,
Straight out of Drip Town, goated with the sauce.
Exactly. Now, so Shy actually owns this studio. He's the owner of So Amazing Studio, So Amazing Facilities. This thing started as one studio. I started coming here, I think, in 2015, down in the Red Room, and then it's expanded to, I think, 3 or 4 different studio spaces. How many?
Three different studio spaces, 2 writing rooms, and this live recording podcast space that we're in now. So you could say about 6 different spaces in total. I call them creative spaces. I don't even like to
Confine it to say
yeah,
studio.
I don't even like putting a
Yeah,
title on them.
I
I like calling them creative spaces because I feel like each room gives that creative a different vibe. So
Different vibes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, yeah. So, and that's just one hat that Shy wears. And so, did you start as an artist?
I did a long time ago,
Mhm.
a very long time ago.
So,
And then I transitioned into production and engineering. Then I had like a little stint where maybe I popped back in
oh, really?
being an artist for a little bit, and then I came back home to it because I do enjoy being behind the boards and
Okay, yeah.
I would almost say helping in artist development and the creative process behind the scenes. So
Word.
and now I'm manager. So
Yes, and
Yeah.
now I'm manager.
and
so
now I'm manager. Yeah.
so for for my music, Shy's been since I started coming, and I don't know when we actually first had our first session, but you've been such an instrumental part of my sound developing. So big thank you for that. When he says that he likes doing that part of it, like I've never worked with an engineer that was so talented as an artist as well, and that makes it so much easier to take your direction because you like understand it from that side. So that's a really dope part of working with you. So shout out to you there. And then
Appreciate it.
so now going over to the management side of things, I can only imagine how much your experience as an artist and producer and engineer helps you out being an artist. And you're not just being a manager, and now you're not just a manager of any artist. You have some notable people on your roster, on your young roster.
I got some good ones.
Yeah, I think people may know Fetty Wap.
Yep,
He's
yeah.
Might have heard of him.
You guys might have heard of Fetty Wap. He actually and Trap Queen blew up out of this studio.
He did. Yep.
Do you want to tell a little story about your background with Fetty and how you got from how it started to now?
Yeah, so originally I met him before even Trap Queen. I used to work with his older brother, Rob McCoy, who was a dope R&B artist. And he actually brought him through to a session. And I actually found out later, talking to Fetty, that he said one of the first tracks he ever did was a feature for his brother on like one of my beats. And I was
that's
like,
crazy.
Wow. Yeah, and this was like in his height. And I did, I watched it, kind of behind the scenes, even though it came out of the studio, I would pop in every now and then. Majority of his project he worked on with Peoples, the first album that took off.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely, I'm grateful to watch that from behind the scenes and pop in every now and then and see that growth. And then, eventually it just evolved into what it is now, which is management. which came years later. I kind of just watching from the sidelines and just seeing his growth. But at the same time, too, I kind of saw that there could be some help or some guidance where he was kind of just doing everything himself.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So how did that actually like come about? And did he have a management situation before? And how did?
Yeah, he did. So he did have a management situation before, but I can't say it was something that was like almost like a day to day. You know what I mean? Because he had his team that he dealt with, but then when they did separate, and that happens a lot in the music industry. It's very common. Yeah. So when I was speaking to him and I found out he didn't have a manager, and I was just transitioning into a manager. I started. I would say the first person I started managing was IVJ.
Shout out Jay. Yeah.
And I moved to that position there, and while I was managing Ivy and learning stuff, it just so happened, I'm having a conversation with Fetty, and I was like, hey,
wow,
he kind of told me like I didn't have a manager, and then one day I shot him like this long text, kind of like just selling myself, and telling him I really wanted to be involved and help him out and be his manager, and he just wrote back yes. And when I saw him like the next week, and we had a meeting with the label, who already had a relationship with his A&Rs. Like we have a great relationship, and they were very excited about it. He told me like in the meeting, he's like, yo, I'm keep it real with you, I didn't even read that text. That shit was long as hell. He's like, I just saw you wanted to be my manager, and I was like, yeah, And he always tells me, he says that he doesn't listen to a lot of people, but that I'm one person that he does respect my opinion, and doesn't he listens to me. He does he values my opinion. So that kind of works in that relationship. So even though I've heard like it's always difficult working with an artist, and even with himself, people have always expressed like, oh, he's difficult. I can't say I've had those personal relationships with him, and I don't know if it's because of the way I communicate with him, but he has always been very respectful and grateful with our relationship. Even if I push back, he gives me like his opinion of why. It's not like a just shut down. It's like, well, I think that, you know what I mean? So, and that could be from maturity and learning from his past mistakes, but
there's like a mutual respect.
Yeah, it's definitely a mutual respect, and there's a lot of insight and stuff he knows. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Not a lot of artists have had that major success that he's had. At that level. So I take what I take his opinion,
his experience,
insight, his experiences. Even though I've been in the game longer, I haven't reached a height where he's reached as an artist.
And actually, speaking on that, because so we heard Fetty. Who are some other artists earlier on that you worked with that we would know? Because I remember when I first came to the Red Room, the plaques that I saw on the wall, I saw Bow Wow and DMX
so that
on
was
the wall.
one of the first, like Bow Wow, DMX. I've done sessions for so many people, Swiss Beats, Mobb Deep, Old Dirty Bastard, Wu-Tang was like probably like one of my first sessions.
That's fire.
Chris Brown when he was like 14. I remember when they first brought him up. It's so many. After a while, like I almost have to like sit down and think, like
think about who it's been.
And another thing too is like I've never, during the time when I was coming up, social media and a lot of these things didn't exist. So
you don't have the memories.
I don't have the visual memories. On documented like on IG or any of those. So I just kind of carry
the mental archive.
Yeah, it's a mental archive. Even though I do have some good documented footage. I have some cool documented footage I found the other day of Chris Brown and stuff like that.
Sick.
But
that's fire. Like young Chris.
This is like run it. So I would say like 07 around that time. So I do have footage from then. That's crazy. So crazy. It's a long career, and learning a lot, and like you said, like having insight on being an artist.
Yeah, I'm sure Fetty respects that a lot.
Yeah,
too.
I apply that to being a manager because I feel like that gives me a little bit more insight, and I'm more empathetic to an artist. You know what I mean? Because I know how artists, generally think, and I feel like sometimes, a lot of these guys that come in on management, their first approach is, just on a bottom line business.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, that's like when you're speaking to music heads, like music execs or management people that don't get the artist side, that can be so frustrating.
yeah, they don't give a fuck. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like bottom line. They'll never understand, like, yo, how come just show up? Just sing,
Yeah,
just do
right.
this,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of things that an artist deals with mentally, like just
Yeah.
the mental, and that's what you see a lot of
100%.
labels now, conscious of that mental health and all these things are important, especially for an artist that's putting their art out there in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And as soon as you put your stuff up, you're
It's a very
those
vulnerable
opinions
thing.
are coming.
Yeah,
those
yeah.
opinions are coming.
It's
And-
crazy to think about too, right? Because like artists, their product is their emotion transferred
Yeah.
into whatever
Yeah.
art form they do, right? So you would think from the business standpoint, from the music executive's head, like you would think like we want them to have a good product, so their mental health needs to be like in check. But it's only until
yeah.
recently that people have like acknowledged.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
crazy.
because again, it's like most of them don't have that insight. They've
Right.
never been on stage.
Yeah.
Right,
They've
right. They
never
only-
put out music. And
They've never tried to even write a song. They don't understand everything that goes into that.
Because
Yeah.
majority of it is bottom line. It's like,
Yeah.
you just want to see that return on investment,
Yeah.
ROI. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like,
Yes, sir.
it's like, I feel like that has given me advantage, dealing, working with Ivy and Fetty and, the producers and songwriters that I do help. And even, with you when you're in the studio, it's just like, I could tell right away, like I could see if a
Yeah.
mood's off, like, okay, let's shift to this instead
I'll
of
even
like,
say from
yeah.
a cameraman standpoint, I've come to you to talk about that
yeah,
stuff.
like
you're just
because even a cameraman, even video directors, videographers, all this stuff is in art form.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's almost like artist to artist.
Right.
It's,
Right. No,
we're
exactly.
all artists
That's
in a
the-
creative space. So it's like you gotta respect everyone's artistry
Right.
and what they're doing. And when you post a video online, you're looking already.
Right.
Like, okay, let me see what the
Right.
comments are. Let me see if someone likes this.
Right.
So you got to take those things into account, especially when dealing with human beings.
Right.
You know what I mean, it's human emotion.
Yeah.
So there's a lot it's a lot, but you have the insight and it does help.
Right.
It does help.
Word. So, any projects that you're working on right now that you're excited about? With Fetty or with Ivy?
Yeah. So with Fetty, we're working on the second album, getting that
Let's
right.
go.
Nice.
Very excited about that.
Yeah, we was just hearing, we was just playing, working on some things.
Yeah, yeah,
right before the podcast, man. I'm telling y'all, it's got some bangers. Got
Yeah.
some bangers in the pocket.
He got some stuff in the cut, and I'm very excited for that. And Ivy, she's just she's very young and still developing her sound, and I like what she's been doing, experimenting. Also, still working with Justina Valentine from Wild 'N Now.
Yo,
Right.
shout out Justina.
Yourself.
Yes, sir.
A
A lot on the way, man.
Yeah,
We
there's
got
a lot of homegrowns out
new
of
joint
here.
dropping next month. You know what I'm saying? Be on the
Yeah,
lookout.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So I'm excited. I'm excited about pretty much everything that comes out of the studio. I'm very proud and excited about everything that guys are doing at this spot. You know what I mean? Because this space doesn't exist without artists. I didn't open up my studio as like as an investment. You know what I mean? I wasn't like trying to start a business. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Right.
It's not, this
Wasn't
isn't
bottom line for you.
Yeah, it's not a car wash. It's not
Yeah.
it's not a business for me. This is like a space. This is my home, so I'm inviting people into
Word.
That's awesome.
I like it to feel like a family. And,
Yeah.
and most of the artists, shout out to everybody that does record at So Amazing. They're responsible for it being and expanding.
The culture and
You know what I mean?
everything. Yeah.
Expanding. Like everything that comes in here, I put right back into it. You know what I mean? Obviously,
I believe it.
Yeah.
You say obviously. Look at me.
Obviously, I mean,
Man, shut up, man.
I don't got the drip. You know what I mean?
No,
So I'm about putting it right back in.
But
You know what I
the
mean?
studio's definitely dripped out though.
I'm
The
proud
studio's
of
dripped
that.
out.
Yeah, I can't wear it on my neck, but if you do
Yeah.
come to the studio,
It's here.
Right.
You'll see what I put in. So
Absolutely, man. Yo, well, all the props in the world to you, man. I have Yeah, I draw a lot of inspiration from you, man. From
likewise.
from a creator, from a creative who is able to like really build a business out of it and create a space where other people can, maximize their potential and really realize all of their creative gifts and stuff. It's dope. It's dope.
Yeah.
It's man.
Appreciate that.
Let's touch on some current events going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wanted to throw some things at you. I guess the
Okay.
most recent thing is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brother.
Man.
So Shaw's a big Philly fan, man. I was rooting
I
for you, bro.
am.
What'd you think of the game, though?
I thought it was a great game.
Till the robbery. No.
No, you know what? I wasn't even mad at that PI call.
yeah.
I felt like, the defense was flat. I had watched them all year.
Yeah, that second half, right?
Yeah,
what happened.
Yeah, I felt like Jalen Hurts was just incredible. Like, he played lights out. Like, he outballed Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, even Mahomes paid homage to him and, credit him on an amazing game. There's nothing more human he could have done.
Yeah.
Even in his era of, like, that one fumble, he came right back.
Yeah.
And, he was
Right
incredible. I just felt like, defense was flat, and there was a punt return that was like, oh man, it was.
That was the longest punt
damaging.
return in Super Bowl
Yeah.
history.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love those facts when they
Yeah.
pop up, because like there's never been a punt return
For a touchdown ever in the
That's
Super Bowl.
crazy.
It's
Super Bowl ever.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's been like 60 Super Bowls.
Yep.
There's never been one.
I think there's been a kick return, but not a punt return.
Yeah, because Devin Hester, I remember when he brought
Yeah,
back the
that
opening
hurt
one.
them. All those things hurt them. Hopefully, it's tough because a Super Bowl, like when you get to that game, it's hard to get back. Like obviously, Kansas City, they got Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey. Like those guys are, like that's like Pippen and Jordan.
Remember when Russell Wilson won his first Super Bowl with Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
You would have thought they were going back every year. After that, they made maybe one. I think they got back once after that.
And they had that interception on the goal line.
Yeah. But like in the NFL, it's tough, man. It's tough to get to the Super Bowl.
You don't know if you'll get back there. So.
Yeah, like the great players. A lot of them don't. Even
So
get close.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what they do next year. Even though Eagles, the one thing like as an Eagle fan that, and to any other Eagle fans out there, you could be proud of is that you do have a franchise quarterback. Like he is the franchise. He's the guy.
And this was his second year.
It's third year, but second year starting. Yeah.
Okay.
So in his
yeah.
his first year, he took him to the playoffs. Second year, he took him to the Super Bowl.
It's not a bad start.
That's not a bad start, and you went up against arguably the best quarterback in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
outside of Tom Brady. You know what I mean?
I mean, especially now. They're talking about Mahomes because he's 27, right? And he already has like a bulletproof like Hall of Fame resume at 27 years old. Like it's crazy. He's one of the best quarterbacks.
Yeah, he won MVP and MVP of the Super Bowl the same
That's
year.
crazy.
I don't think someone's done that since like '97. I forgot what quarterback it was, but that guy's incredible. Like, he's incredible. Like,
Yo, and shout out to black quarterbacks starting, against each other. That's the first time in Super Bowl history.
Yeah.
A lot of history made in this Black History Month.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be a normal thing. I think the next push now that they're starting to push is more black head coaches.
Yeah,
because someone did highlight that out of the Super Bowl, the Eagles lost, but their defensive coordinator and their offensive coordinator both got head coaching jobs.
Nice.
But the offensive coordinator for KC, who's black, got an offensive coordinator job at Washington. You know what I mean?
Oh, he left for another OC job? I thought
he left for another OC job, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
That's the his name starts with a B. I forget.
Yeah. So
I think Eric. I forget, but yeah, he's been for years. They've been talking about he deserves to get a job.
Yeah, and I'm sure he will. There's great coaches that have had opportunity. Lovie Smith is a great one. What's his name on Pittsburgh?
Tomlin.
Yeah, Tomlin's great. You know what I mean? Like this great coach, and I feel like that will start to change too. You know what I mean? As it goes.
It's tough, man. They came out with the Rooney Rule, I think in 2002, and then like last year there were less quarterbacks, less black head coaches than there were when they implemented before they implemented the Rooney Rule.
Oh wow.
There's, I don't know. They gotta figure that out. But I think really until they have black owners, until they have more like black upper management.
Yeah. Because
You
it
know
could
what I'm
be a comfortability too. That's what someone did say, that majority of the owners are white, so
like 31 out of 32.
Yeah, so going out to dinner,
You know
culturally, we're making progress, but
Yeah.
and I know people don't like to highlight it, or ever make it a thing. Like even when they mention like, yo, this is the first time two black
people
quarterbacks,
get so mad.
people are like, why you? Who cares? It's just two good quarterbacks. It's like, all right. But if you think about but if you know the history, yes, it is something to celebrate. You know what I mean?
And that's why it's like it is important to say it, because like for a while in the NFL, black people didn't play quarter. The reason why this is the first time we're seeing two black quarterbacks go against each other is because for a long time in the NFL, it was believed that black people couldn't play quarterback because quarterback was a smart leadership position, and black people couldn't be smart leaders.
Yeah. No, and
You know what I mean?
And look, one of the reasons why I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan is in the 90s, their quarterback was Randall Cunningham.
Yes, sir.
So I was a big fan of Randall Cunningham. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually, credit to the Eagles, their organization has had the most starting black quarterbacks.
And think who they are too.
It's not even close.
I believe it, because
Yeah,
off
it's
the
not
top
even
of my
close,
head,
yeah.
I mean, just since Randall Cunningham, they've had killers. They've had
Mike Vick, McNabb.
McNabb, like they've had so many. Like,
but they don't,
great,
and they don't do it. Like the owner doesn't go, "Hey, let me hire a black coach." He's just like, "Yo, we just want to get the best players." So they're
and
not
how many. Yeah, I mean, like McNabb didn't win any championships, but he went to 5 NFC championship
five
games.
NFC,
Like,
and went up against Tom Brady. And there's a debate out there that they cheated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They went and were watching practices allegedly. You know what I mean? So
I think it's kind of safe to say.
Yeah.
But, sticking on the Super Bowl, Rihanna, how'd you feel about the halftime show?
I mean, she's pregnant and, just performing. And I mean, Rihanna got hits. I didn't, to be honest, like as a football fan, majority of my household was watching the game for Rihanna, like my wife and all her family. But, I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, dope.
Her performance got more viewership than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what people.
I think that's always the case. Like that's almost always the case.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like, what do people want from like? I don't know what they want from a performance sometimes.
Right.
Like, I don't know. She was up like 30, 40 feet in the air. Like that could have broke and fell. Like I don't know what they want. Like I don't. It's tough.
Yeah,
I wanted her to give birth at the halftime
Yeah,
show.
like do I feel like there were other halftime shows that were better? Yeah, but I don't think she put on a bad halftime show.
Entertaining,
it was
for sure.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
She has great music.
Right.
Like you can't deny how many hits she has.
And I think it shouldn't always be about like, was it better than the other one? Did it top the other one? Because like, then it's just going to be everybody throwing more bells and whistles and more fireworks and stuff, trying to make it seem bigger than the last one, as opposed to just putting on a good show. Because I felt like what she did was like she put on a dope show.
I thought it was really dope. I mean, as a producer fan, like obviously. One of my favorite. I love Dr. Dre's. I love how he had it set up. I love how.
I mean that's
I love how
my
Dre
favorite of all
did
time.
his.
Yeah.
Just personally, it was my favorite. Performance-wise, obviously, Beyonce is one of the greatest performers. To hit the stage.
Forgetting about Prince.
Prince, who started it? He was the one that started it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Prince was I believe he was the first one.
Was it?
I think so. Yeah. I think Prince. Oh no,
It was
or
Michael
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it was Michael
yeah.
Jackson.
Michael Jackson was the first, and actually I saw that the reason why they started doing Super Bowl halftimes is because of In Living Color.
Oh yeah.
Because In Living Color, they had the halftime special, and more people tuned into their special and the show that they had going on. So the NFL, I guess they put 2 and 2 together and was like, "Yo, we need to have a halftime show." Yeah. So shout out to Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's fire. Yeah. Hey man. Speaking on that with like Michael Jackson and Prince and all these people, that kind of the whole point of like not trying to do better than the last person, trying to top everybody else. Like what?
It's always a comparison.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like even if your performance wasn't as good as Michael Jackson, Prince, Beyonce. Like okay, you know what I mean? Why are you even trying to?
Yeah. I agree. It's always gonna be a comparison. Like she
Yeah.
didn't move that much. There wasn't rain coming down. She didn't run through fire. She didn't bring out any special guests.
Well, that was the one thing I was surprised with because
I thought she was gonna bring Drake out.
She could have had everybody. She could
Yeah.
have had Jay-Z, Eminem, Drake, ASAP.
Yeah.
Like she could have had which like it would have been so dope if she did, but it was also kind of like a real flex that she didn't.
That's what I thought too. Because you gotta think about it. I think she's the wealthiest
Yeah.
one.
She's
I think
she's the only one out of them
Rihanna has
that's a
surpassed
billionaire.
Everybody, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Which is like you got to think about that. Like
It's crazy.
Past
like
Beyonce.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that's-
Beyonce.
yes.
Yeah, Beyonce and Jay-Z are worth $1 billion.
Yeah, I think it's
Combined.
Combined.
Yeah, they're a
Rihanna.
power couple. Yeah.
Yeah, like combined, they're worth Rihanna. You know what I mean?
That's
So it's-
fucking insane.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know, like
Crazy.
what else do you want her to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She performed pregnant and she's a billionaire. So and we're on our couches.
Two pretty impressive things right there.
Oh man, I wanted more.
I wanted more.
Dance for me. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
ridiculous. No.
She's a billionaire. Like I don't see like Elon Musk or anybody on
Right.
stage performing.
Yeah.
Like she's a billionaire performing
Right.
like for you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's crazy.
Like think about that. What is Bill Gates, like they'll go on stage and talk, but are
Right.
they performing for you?
Right.
What
No.
other billionaire is performing?
Yeah.
Like she's a billionaire
She
performing.
doesn't need to perform for
She's
anyone.
a billionaire singing for you. A billionaire.
At a football game.
There's only a couple in the world, and she's singing for your entertainment.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And she doesn't get paid for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Halftime
Right.
performers don't get paid, so she's
Yeah.
going up there to perform hits for you. in your
Yeah,
living
complaining.
room.
Yeah.
She's a billionaire. Like, just take it. Like she could have sat down and performed.
That's-
You got to be grateful.
That's a
Yeah, like
yeah. Well, yeah.
Come
No,
on.
she's a
Hey.
billionaire. One more. Yeah. No, it's
It's
facts.
a billionaire performing. Like, yo,
Yeah.
look, it's a billionaire performing. Like, no one thinks about that.
Yeah. No, you're
Fucking
right.
billionaire
You're right.
performing
You're right.
for you.
You're right.
Like, like working, like singing for you.
Yeah.
Like doing the same thing as like the singer coming up.
Right.
Like for
Yeah.
you.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's a billionaire.
She doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, but pretty much 99.9 or 6%, 9, I'd say, are
Yeah.
never gonna be
Oh,
billionaires.
99.999. Like
Are never
I
gonna
think
be
it's like
billionaires.
0.0002% are
Yeah,
billionaires.
it's like
Yeah.
impossible. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
shout out to Rihanna.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great perspective.
Fucking billionaire performing for us.
Speaking of billions, so Kanye and Adidas, you know, their deal is over, and Adidas lost, I think, a report of 1.3 billion or something like that on that deal. Steve, I want to get your thoughts on Kanye.
I
man.
was hoping this wasn't going to come my direction.
No, absolutely. Come on, this is like why I brought the podcast back. I was like, we
no.
need to talk about Kanye with Steve.
What do you want to know?
Anything. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, it's been rough watching Kanye the past few months, for sure. No, in all seriousness though, I think I don't know. He's always had mental issues. You know what I mean? That have been made apparent, and they're just
My man's putting up that shield for Ye.
I'm
I see
trying.
it.
It's tough.
It's so hard to defend, and I'm not defending anything he
Yeah.
said by
and
any
it's-
means.
Yeah, and it's hard to give an opinion on
Right.
this point. Feel like so many people have given their opinion.
Yeah.
on it.
Right.
And,
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You know, you kind of hope because he's been so transformative for music. You just
And
like, even
that-
though
yeah.
I don't agree with any of his things, I
Right.
kind of do hope that he finds a way.
Yeah.
Finds a way back, and Adidas, yeah, they took a loss. He definitely brought the coolness back to them. So
They're looking for ways to patch up, like
I
do
don't
some
know
kind
how.
of thing. Yeah, no, but
'Cause-
it's crazy that like as bad as that went, they're still like, yo, let's try to work something. Because $1.3 billion, at the end of the day, money talks.
Oh,
And that-
so
yeah,
so they're gonna work something out with him.
they're trying to work something out because
That
they're
makes sense.
because they have like 1.3 billion worth of like merch that they can't sell, and
That makes sense. I mean, he brought them their hottest sneaker, arguably.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
not
think
arguably.
I don't think, I don't think he was off when he said that his sneaker was up there with Jordan. I think he was spot on.
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely right. Like,
Absolutely.
Jordan Yeezys, like,
100%.
and he's not even a ball player. Like,
No, it's crazy.
yeah, I think, Kanye, like but we knew that was gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they thought they were.
I think it's like we knew it was gonna happen, but maybe it's just different when it actually happens. Or I guess for them, because I don't know. Or maybe they just didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't really know what else they would. Yeah, what else were they going to do at that point?
I wonder what it was, because I think as a society, like there's always, I think initially it's like, oh, that's it, we're done. But I think we always get over things for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I've seen worse people forgiven for a lot worse than Kanye. And again, like, I'm not a fan of anything being black and Jewish, my mother being Jewish. There's a lot of things he said that were like I was like, wow, that's crazy disrespectful. You know what I mean? But it's hopefully he finds a way, like, and he comes back, has conversations with people, and I've seen people do that, meet up. And, it comes back different. But, it's hard, because at the end of the day, I think what Steve says, he deals with mental things. And then on top of that, he's definitely has some narcissistic traits. So,
and that's
putting
helped.
It lightly.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
But
and those two things together. Yeah.
And he's been, and I think
Yeah.
I think fans of his and all of us have always, like, either turned a blind eye or forgiven him.
Absolutely, bro.
Oh.
So
Absolutely. He just never crossed whatever line.
Yeah, I think.
But he made graduation.
And that's what it comes. It's like, bro, he made my beautiful dark twisted
That was-
fantasy.
yeah.
It's like,
That was always like the
That's
excuse. Like,
the
he did
thing,
some
yeah.
crazy shit, but he made graduation.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus.
Right.
I love all Kanye stuff. So
yeah. No, it's Kanye. Kanye was the most. I'll say he was the most influential artist for me, because he was the first artist, especially like after I've really got into music and writing music. He was the first rapper who was just popping and dope, and wasn't like all the other mainstream gangster rappers. Like, he was the only one during that time that he really taught me that as long as you're dope, just tell your story.
Yeah.
No matter what your story is, just
His
be
versatility is crazy.
Same.
yeah, well,
big
he's
influence
just
for me too,
such an artist. Yeah, he brought just a whole different flavor to the game. And like so many artists today, from your Drakes, down, were so heavily influenced by him. So yeah, that makes it so tough for the culture to write him off.
Yeah, I would love to see him make peace with everybody.
Yeah.
And then fuck it up all over again. You know what I mean? Because he's going to do it. But I would love to see him make peace.
We want to see the cycle
At
continue.
least like a 2-year run of, like, you know what I mean? And then,
Right.
say
The inevitable,
shit.
the
Yeah,
inevitable
like-
crazy shit.
Yeah, like, because he, it does fluctuate. It's like porn
Right.
awards and
Right.
then it's gospel
Well,
albums.
not-
We might get it. Like, he might pull up and be with a couple of rabbis and say
Right.
da-da-da, and we're
Right.
good, and we get like the craziest album of
No,
all
you're
time.
right.
and
That's
then
very
he's
on
like-
brand. Yeah.
And then he's like, "Fuck Puerto Rico," you know. What I mean? And then he's beefing with Bad Bunny. Like, I don't know. Like, in the Kanye.
The Kanye verse.
Yeah, he's definitely the main character.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's
he's definitely the main character. So, I mean,
oh man.
Walt Disney, Nike.
oh man, it's like, whether you're a fan or not,
Right.
Yeah.
And
like,
that goes back to even what we were talking about, what an artist is. You know what I mean? Why working with an artist, like, that comes with artistry a lot of times. Like, look at Van Gogh, Starry Night, one of the most like renowned paintings to this day. Homie chopped his ear off. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
a lot of the greats are also fucking out there.
Yeah, there's
like,
a dark. There's
Yeah,
definitely
it's
a dark
balance.
side.
It's the
Yeah.
balance between everything. It's
And
like,
I think as history goes on and people go back to his works, I think any of this negative stuff will be like, it'll be like a footnote.
Right.
I think majority of his art is gonna
Yeah.
supersede. Yeah.
like,
yeah.
when we're all gone and no one's debating, they're gonna go back to his work and you see how amazing
That's so
an
true,
artist
yeah.
he was. So, like tough for him now, but
Yeah, that's a
Right.
fact.
yeah.
And when this stuff happens, when they like try to cancel somebody, try to discredit them, I saw people that were trying to say that he wasn't even that good or that he didn't do whatever for the culture. I'm like, bro,
Kanye's
say what you want
overrated.
about him. Don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
come on, you
Yeah.
sound ridiculous now. You
He
sound
did
ridiculous.
enough damage that you could just go with what he actually said to make your post. You don't
Yeah.
got to start grabbing at straws
Yeah.
or non-existent ones.
Crazy. Well, so I wanted to ask you, we gonna keep this thing kind of short, but the state of Jersey music, where do you see it today? Where do you see it going? Jersey Club has made a little revitalized, has kind of been revitalized. Coi Leray and with her latest remix to Players, and Uzi with his joint, that's sort of like really on the scene. I know we got you got Bandman.
I was just gonna
has
say
been recording
Bandman's
here a
been
lot,
popping
right?
off. He does that sound.
Yeah, I think Jersey Club is global now. I think
Yeah.
it's global. Like that Uzi record's huge,
Yeah.
so it's
Oh,
global.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
global, and you see it being fused. Other DJs are tapping into it. I feel like, I do feel like even though in Jersey we all know it, I do feel like the world doesn't really know that
Yeah,
it's
doesn't-
Jersey,
doesn't understand.
because there's some confusion
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? Like I hear people say it's from this city or that
Baltimore. I
city.
hear
Yeah, Baltimore,
everything. Yeah.
Philly, and all that stuff's debatable. But I do feel like Jersey artists still aren't getting their credit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And even though you could go back into the catalog and see stuff from all these guys. DJ Hood,
Yep, J Hood, yep.
Unicorn,
Yep.
Chad B,
Yes, sir.
this artist Pure that had a Jersey Club song back in
Yeah.
the day, Body Talk, that was
Let
like,
your body talk. Hey, let your body talk.
This is before, you know what I mean? This is
that was when I was
and
at Willie P. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
and he wasn't doing it to.
That's
he
actually
was-
when I first met him. I opened up, so I had a show with J. Cole,
Yeah.
and Pure was one of the openers. I opened up with him.
And he wasn't doing it because Jersey Club was like
Nope.
a thing. Like
At
he's
all.
from Jersey and he's
That's
like, oh, I
it.
want to do this. You know what I mean? The same thing with Unicorn or, most artists from Jersey. And Coi Leray, it's definitely authentic. You know what I mean? Like she's from Jersey. Like that's what she came up on. And so I do feel like, Jersey artists do, they do need to get more of their due and respect on what they brought in. And, to MC
they're
Vert and
influencing.
Bandman, like, if it's not for MC Vert, does Uzi do that type of record? You know what I mean? And that's MC Vert's a Jersey kid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but I did see Jersey. I did see Uzi pay homage
credit
to
to
Jersey,
Jersey.
which was
Jersey.
pretty dope. But I think the world should be aware of it as well.
Yeah, they got to keep doing that. Yeah, you need to put some respect on these artists' name. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And I wanted to ask you how you felt about like all this AI stuff that's taken over.
Oh man.
Like from like, so there's like ChatGPT is obviously that's the hot, that's the hot thing. But there's like all this different AI that's coming out. In addition to that, I don't like. Do you see that having an effect on? Okay, yeah. Tell me what you're thinking, because there's a couple things that
I can't even wrap my head around what it's gonna do.
Shit's
like
crazy.
I still don't know yet.
Shit is
I just
scary.
know it's gonna. I know it's gonna make life easier, but I almost feel like it's gonna make life easier, but then complicate things. But I don't know how yet. I
got a prediction.
I'm sure smarter people out there know. But what was your prediction?
My prediction, or at least for how it's going to make it easier and harder. Obviously, the easy part, like I'm sure we all can think, just because you can type in prompts or whatever and say you need this, and then boom, AI can generate it for you. But it's then going to make everything harder because everyone's going to have access to these AIs. So now you got to compete with the AIs. So it's going to be either coming up with something that AI can't generate is going to be the new challenge. Like coming up with something that is only human, you know what I mean? Like AI is incapable of creating, or it's either that, or you just got to come up with a more efficient way than AI. You know what I mean? Something more efficient than AI, which I don't think is fucking possible.
I think the
feasible.
human side
Right.
is it's probably the edge, but
Yeah,
but
Because like if you look at it right now, at least from what I've seen with all of the AI, like they still fuck up on like fingers. Like fingers are really bad.
Yeah. Like in
Eyes
Lensa,
are
like,
really bad.
Yeah, in
Midjourney.
Lensa, some of the things that are
Right.
generated, like I did one
right.
too, and it was like my hand was like coming out my head, and then
Yeah.
I was holding something that had a hand out of it, and then there was
Yeah.
like a weird face in the corner.
Right,
I'm
like, there's-
what is that?
I just don't know if it's gonna get to a point where it is unrecognizable. Because even from like a visual effects standpoint, like if you have any experience with it, like a lot of times I'll see shit that like immediately I know it's AI. Just I can't tell you why, but there's something about it that it's just like, oh, that's AI generated. Like because like the eye is off, or it's kind of like the uncanny or not uncanny.
But are people gonna care though?
right?
That's the
But
thing.
Right.
but and then also though, like think about the first iPhone.
yeah.
Like we're talking about, this is the first generation
Of it, exactly.
of AI that
exactly.
we're seeing.
Like
And
how
it's like,
fast
How
is it gonna?
crazy is it gonna get?
Right.
What's generation 5 gonna look like? What's generation
Exactly.
10 gonna look like?
Yeah, because
You know
then
what
they're
I'm
gonna.
saying?
Because I mean, this is Steve
Terminator.
Stoner thought, but no, I was thinking there's gonna be a way to then translate, because it's just data interpretation. You know what I mean? So you could translate your dreams then, like you'll
Yeah,
be able
I
to
dream
like,
of a retro
visualize.
space.
Well, no,
yeah.
no, but I'm saying there will be a way that because of the neurons that are firing in your brain, this AI will then be able to generate imagery based off of like your brain.
Well, I think
Wow, so
that's what
almost like,
Elon's trying to do with
telepathy.
yeah, almost like
So-
telepathy. Yeah,
Wow.
And that's
Isn't
what I'm
that
saying.
what-
Like this shit could actually get like.
what Elon's trying to do with
Yeah,
Neuralink.
Neuralink, yeah. Elon's
Yeah.
doing something similar with Neuralink.
Yeah,
that shit's
'cause-
really
'cause, yeah,
scary.
if you can get your ideas like straight from your mind to like a
Right.
computer, it's over.
yeah.
It's over.
It's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Bro,
iRobot is
I just
here.
gotta
Yeah.
think about a movie I want to
Talent
make.
is gone at that point.
Well, no, because then it's
they
gonna come to
already
the
have
ideas.
it, like there's softwares that like there's lyricstudio.net where it's like an AI songwriting tool, which it has all these tools to help like songwriters, come up with stuff quickly. There's this one I heard called Mubert, and that's like a text to music prompt. So, and I checked it out. The stuff isn't too impressive yet, but again, iteration 1. But soon, you're gonna be able to just like, yo, I want a beat in this genre with this BPM in this key, and then this is gonna generate one.
Well,
for
you've
you.
seen
You know what I
that
mean?
they've got like artists' voices has like AI, so you could like type something and it'll read it in their voice. Like I've seen people. There's a Juice World AI, so people
Yeah.
write their own songs, type it into the Juice World AI, and it sounds like Juice World singing it. Like it's fucking crazy.
It's They already
so
have
that
AI
means,
people.
you know what the future of that is. You want a feature from someone.
Yeah, yeah. Or it's like the first artist that was in the meta.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, is anything going to be human at a certain point?
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, I could definitely see the future being, Ready Player One and, evolve into Terminator.
So does that scare you as a creator?
It does, because I think, and I'm sure you guys could relate to this too, is like, how we've developed our craft is from years of doing
Yeah.
it,
Right.
years of making
Yeah,
mistakes.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
now there's AI that's
Yeah.
getting it right away in a matter of
Crazy.
seconds. So it kind of if you sit down and think about it, it could be discouraging. You know what I mean? If I took time out like 8 hours a day to learn piano, but this AI is like looks at
Download
music
all
theory
gear.
and just like and just bangs it out. I mean, that's what we're up against. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Nuts.
it'll be interesting to see. But like you said, it's like the first generation, and what you said about what you're typing in, and
Right.
it comes down to your ideas at that
Right.
point, right? Give me a song about pancakes, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Versus give me a song about clouds having sex in riverbanks. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like we don't
Right.
like I don't know what people's ideas are gonna
Right.
be.
No.
that's
Exactly.
Gonna differentiate.
Then it's gonna just be looking at AI as another tool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
yeah.
be the most
Yeah.
skilled person with that tool.
Well, that's gonna be the first phase. Like it's gonna be as a tool.
Right.
Then we're gonna lean on it.
Right.
Then we're gonna be
That's gonna be
controlled
the
by it.
machine.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. So we're gonna at a certain point, just like our phones that we
Right.
depend on all the time. I think we're just gonna end up depending on
Yeah.
AI. And yeah, so I could see a couple different alternate futures. Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Terminator's the dark one.
Right.
Or we could be like that cartoon Wall-E. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Just flying around on our
Just
scooters.
overweight,
Just
sitting in
overweight. Yeah.
chairs and tube feeding us. You know what I mean?
So you made it seem like it was the good one.
No.
No,
it could be Terminator or
Ready
it could
Player
be like
One's,
Wall-E.
Ready Player One's probably the good one, and
Right.
that one's still not good.
And that one's
You know
still
what I
not
mean?
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen like a future, an AI future that's like good.
Promising.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, man, I don't know. I know you gotta go. You have a birthday to get to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you, Shy.
Yeah, yo, appreciate you, bro. Good luck this year in 2023
thank
with
you,
all the
thank you.
artists that you're working with, including especially myself. But look forward to seeing where things go with the studio and everything too,
I
brother.
appreciate it, man.
No doubt. This is the Ill Intent Podcast. Your boy Scott Paul.
Steve shot it.
Shy Boogs.
Until next time.
Peace.